problems with the team. But the official reason why he left is that he wanted to find a new team, wanted new opportunities. So
it's so interesting.
It's so weird.
It's so interesting because like of how tight he was with the SBENU CEO and stuff. Like when we used to see him win a game, he'd go out and high five him and stuff.
Yeah,
so
and also
how things change like that, man, it's crazy.
It was an important moment as well when he was playing the round of 8. He barely lost to Hero.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, you're teamless.
It's so strange how that turned around. But here we go. TANGTANG hasn't won a game since he joined Prime. Maybe today's the day with this kind of momentum.
Yeah, it could be, man. Bomber definitely having a terrible record as well. It was up on the screen moments ago, but we were talking about Myungshik. Let me take a look at what Bomber's record is. I'm really curious about that.
I think it's like 1-1 against Terran.
1-2 and 0-0 versus Terran in Pro League.
Oh, okay. 1-2. Well, yeah, he doesn't have much of a chance. Maybe today's the day.
Can Prime win? Can Prime knock SBENU out of postseason? Let's find out right now. To the bottom right in red. Needs a win for his team now. It's Bomber.
Up here in the top left, TANGTANG. Can you close things out and crush the dreams of SBENU for no reason other than victory and I guess a little bit of glory. It would be a nice way for Prime to end things out here. You know, finish it in a win, break the curse on the very last match here, and as well as, you know, crush dreams.
It's about the crushing the dreams right now. This is just such an interesting circumstance because I feel like Prime is playing slightly better than usual overall. But it's not like they're playing the sickest games where it's a new team. It just seems like the responses for the SBENU players have been pretty weak, and these are not build order losses.
No,
these are not like, oh, oops, I made one control mistake. These are just prolonged mistakes over an entire game, especially that Curious game. That was a really rough one to watch, especially if you're a Curious fan. Look at this going, why are we not seeing DRG today? I know we talked about this a lot, but like DRG is the guy you do not want to send out in these stressful matches where anything could go wrong. But almost, I feel like in today's matches, I think his recent play has been pretty impressive. It's sad that he's not here for this.
I guess that's why he got sent overseas. But I feel like this team really needed him at this point. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to say what the decision making was behind this, considering how close they are to playoffs. But well, this is what they're dealing with, and I guess they're paying for it in a big way.
Well,
TANGTANG on the other hand, there, I feel like he's one of the weaker players still. He's very new to like the Pro League scene, at least. Like he hasn't played in many big tournaments, been in front of the TV much, so he's still one of those players from Prime that does get nervous and doesn't perform as well as he should. He's
basically the player that only plays in Pro League, and he plays in every other qualifier for every league, but never makes it.
Yeah,
that's what he's famous for. Not only, of course, in the foreign scene, but in Korea as well, as always grinding out those qualifiers. When he was teamless, you know, Prime found this guy, and they're like, "Oh, he's pretty good. He's obviously dedicated. We'll pick him up. We'll add him to our roster." But he didn't see play for a long time until Prime's roster kind of thinned out to like 5 players, and then after Creator's departure and the Chinese players not showing up, he was forced to play every match, and he still only played like 7 or so. So not a ton of games played overall. He's 0-5 actually in his last 5 games. And
yeah, that's
overall 0-7.
It's kind of how every Prime player started out, to be honest. I mean, you remember Departure, you remember Terror, like the newer players always just didn't seem to have the confidence going into these games to perform well.
Yeah. It's funny just because I knew the head coach of the Korean team for Fnatic, Hwani, and I talked to him about Departure a lot back in the day. I was like, why don't you guys ever field this guy? We never see him at all. And they used him like once or twice and got crushed. And he's like, well, he just says he's not ready. We don't think he's ready to play his televised matches. And then he got forced to do it long enough to where he's now finally starting to find some success.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good way to overcome your fears. You know, just dive in. Sure, you're going to pay for it with a lot of losses, which Prime have, but I mean, how else are you going to overcome that?
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't Terror, wasn't Departure these top ladder players as well? Like,
absolutely.
They clearly have the skill to get there.
Yeah, Terror was like #1 on the ladder for a long time. Everyone was talking about it, but just had some nerve issues. Playing in the studio, playing on stage, playing in an environment that's not as comfortable as yours.
Yeah.
some of those things, like, some people just can't go to a PC bomb without their own gear. You know what I mean? I feel like
That's
obviously,
me, man. That's me.
Yeah, there's a group of people like that, and it's like nothing wrong with that. But it's one of those things where if your mindset is like that for pro gaming, not about your gear specifically, but about your environment, like the lights are too bright, or I don't like the chair, or this headset thing I have to wear to block the sound is really uncomfortable, and it just and all these things reinforce the idea that this is important, and there's people outside screaming and yelling about your matches, so that's why you even have to wear that. It's like all this extra added pressure definitely leads to a stressful situation for some of these newer players, even though they crush it on the ladder. And they do decently in qualifiers. It's just tougher when you're on TV. Everything's harder when you're on TV.
It is. Here we go with the first bout of aggression, though. TANGTANG going to be trying to shut down this naturally. Might just do it, getting a nice position with this Widow Mine.
Actually, this is a great concave at the bottom of the ramp. Even a second heli to join.
SCVs are free.
Yeah, taking so much damage. All right, already triggers the Widow Mine. The Reaper coming back for some extra damage here.
That's interesting. Actually used the scan.
He actually he gave up control of the ramp, and that could have, if he just kept it concave at the bottom of the ramp, could have eventually pushed the SCVs back, and I don't think Bomber would be able to break down like that.
Well, at the same time, though, he did kill 5 SCVs. I feel like, and he used the scan, which was really weird because he triggered the mine, scanned and killed it, and then fought the army. I feel like that is the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah, I think that TANGTANG definitely could have been a little more aggressive there as well, like try to control the bottom of the ramp. Counterattack going to come up here, but the drop's home. He's got a tight wall, so he knew this was possible. There's potential there.
Yeah, double CCs as well on the way for TANGTANG, so following up with a big way in terms of economy.
And Bomber scouts it and responds with his own third CC on the low ground, so he's trying to take the greed to the next level. Ooh, good control here by TANGTANG, pushing that Viking back. This is tense. I would say Bomber has a slight lead because he has that mining CC on the low ground already. But it's a very close game already.
Yeah, I'd give the economic advantage to Bomber. Let's see where it goes from here there. Still such early days. With that kind of damage from TANGTANG, it does even up the economy just a little bit more than it should be. Though that CC going to the low ground very late. And there's so many SCVs waiting to transfer as well.
Yeah. Oh, he's really aggressively playing with these Vikings. Not going to find anything, though. Okay, so TANGTANG is getting stim. He's going for bio, whereas we see the second factory coming up for Bomber. No armory yet. But there's Blue Flame. It's going to be two-fact Blue Flame.
Probably with a lot of Vikings to follow it up. And a nice scan there. Going to give away everything. Yeah.
Even seeing the Blue Flame research.
It's going to be one of these games again. It's going to be up to TANGTANG to find the damage before this mech army gets off the ground.
Our third TBT of the night. Pretty rare occurrence to have this many.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of them. And we haven't seen really any success from the bio players as well. Maybe this time. Maybe TANGTANG can find a way in. It's all about those drops.
And his team has the momentum right now.
One more win. They've actually got their first win of the round.
Yep.
Round.
It's been a long time since they've had a win.
And half the year, half the season.
Yep, they didn't get one in round 3, so.
Well, these are waiting. Not going to find it here, that's for sure. Hopefully he's paying attention. Yeah, he does. TANGTANG. It's going to have to apply the pressure soon as well. Might want to try and find where that third base is.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of a cool thing to put the third base there like Bomber has, because not only does it give you a faster saturation, and it's a good third base timing, but it's just hidden. Like TANGTANG clearly is not expecting this, so he just thinks he's on 2 bases. He's probably thinking he's really ahead, when in reality he's actually not. So after he closes up this watchtower, I'd like to see him explore and see if there's like a building third CC at least there. You know, he needs to try for something here.
He should at least send a heli in there, just so he knows for sure what's up. He needs to scout this, or he's just not going to.
It's just simple. It's just simply a pro gamer reactionary move. You know, sometimes when you see a player who's scouting a Protoss's base, like SOS's base, and you look and you like count the factories and stuff, you're like, something's missing.
We're going to see a drop on a tank if he's observing, not paying attention there.
He sees it now, obviously, though. The observer wasn't watching what was happening that you were talking about, but there's this pro gamer sense where you're like, this isn't right, something's missing, he has to have a CC. You should be able to identify that.
Yeah.
And he does. He sees the base now. He's got stim. Combat shield's a ways away, unfortunately, but he's adding quite a few Marauders to the mix coming for this next attack.
Yeah, I think it's the right choice against this kind of mech composition. It's going going to be at the drops as well there. We didn't see drops used too well in our previous TVT. Keen taking that one. Oh, here we go. Both armies kind of getting sizable enough. We might see an engagement soon. I feel like TANGTANG, he's going to run out of time eventually. He wants to make this happen sooner than later.
Yeah.
Maybe waiting for that +1 before he moves out completely.
Already sees the attack long away from the base. Hellbats are ready to help defend this. A ton of production on these factories as well. TANGTANG really needs to go for it. He's really hesitating.
Yeah, he keeps scanning, looking for a position. Maybe he wants to go around the back way to the debris.
That's what I would go for at this point, or do a doom drop maybe. But just sitting here on the watchtower is definitely not going to accomplish anything. Bomber's like very happy with this. He's like, oh yeah, you could sit there all day.
Well, the scary thing about Bomber as well is he's got like 4 medivacs full of Hellbats at this point. So it's going to shut down the bio. And if he tries for a doom drop, it just might not be enough considering that. Scan goes out. He sees how many medivacs. He knows they're full of Hellbats right now.
Yeah. All right, he's going to go for the engage, hoping to hit this army before the Hellbats get there. A good pre-split here. Incredible split by TANGTANG, but the siege tanks at the back are uncontested, doing all that extra damage, and this is going to probably, with this engagement, bring us to an ace match, right? I mean, that was a bad engage, and now the rest of these Hellbats get reloaded on top of this bio.
This is a complete beatdown, and yeah, this is not the way to fight a mech player, not head-on like this, and we're just going to see this push go all the way to the natural, I think.
I almost feel like the days of bio versus mech are over.
It actually looks that way when you see a game like this.
Well, that's going to be it. I mean, he's up 40 supplies, control this third base. GG, we're going to an ace match. SBENU lives.
SBENU lives for now, and TANGTANG, a unfortunate performance there. Well, the ace match, it is going to be on Iron Fortress as well. Who do you think we're going to come out there?
I'm going to say Boom Boom, and I'm going to say
Leonok.
I wish DRG were here.
I think it'd have to be Leonok.
I think it's going to be Leonok, but it could be Curious as well.
Curious, he had a bad game, man. I don't think he deserves it.
I wouldn't send him.
I think you need to see Leonok come out, and for Prime, I mean, there's so many Terran players, and they have Bung Bung, and Bung Bung kind of bungled his last attempt. I guess he could try again.